Judy, are you with me?
Hey, Stevie J, of course I'm with you.
Judy Gaman, our good friend, our healthy living expert. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you for asking.
Did you receive my package?
I did, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much for helping us with Alzheimer's in the arts. You're the best.
No, I hope it brings somebody. We sent her a few autographs. Dan Reeves, Johnny Rutherford, Mike Ditka, some autographs. Hopefully they'll make a little money on it.
Wonderful. All
right, the CDC may not recommend coronavirus vaccine for children at first. What do you know?
Well, I know that the CDC is making the right call here because I have a background in clinical research. I know how the studies are done, and we start with healthy adults, and we know that immune systems on adults are very different than the developmental immune system. So when you're developing and you're a child or you're a baby in utero, that's very, very different. And so we have to look at those studies and, hey, is this safe? They usually start in animals, and they can tell whether it's going to be safe for those children. Now, we're really far ahead on the adult vaccine research, so we're, really close to almost ready to roll. So we need to start rolling that out. A lot of people are saying, well, we got to vaccinate the kids. They're going to school. We don't want them to spread it. Well, that's all well and true, but we don't want to vaccinate them with an adult version, and we don't want to vaccinate them without knowing that it's safe for them.
Okay, when this is announced, how does it work? How are they going to make it available? Is it going to be like a flu shot that you drive up, or I wonder how they'll do it?
Well, I think there's a lot of talk and a lot of concern about how we're going to get it done. But I do know that there's also talk of bringing in the National Guard, making sure all the clinics, all the pharmacies, all the hospitals, that it's widely available for people to get. And that's the key. We need to do it. We need to do it quickly. And if we can get it rolled out and get it done quickly, then we're going to get really far ahead of this pandemic.
I always believed that I don't really care. I think Dr. Scott Atlas was the first guy that says that we shouldn't be looking at the overall numbers. We should be looking at hospitals. And right now in my county of 220,000, I only have 7 beds being used. I think that's a win. This is highly contagious. For young people particularly, Judy, we know that coronavirus kills far less than the seasonal flu for kids. And so for whatever reason, they do a little better with this. But I don't think anything goes back to any semblance of normalcy until people feel safe again, period.
Well, absolutely, and very different from the flu. When we have the flu, we feel very ill. We want to stay home, right? Mm-hmm. So we know when we're sick, when we're getting the flu. We even kind of know when we start to get it. We just feel a little off. What's different with COVID-19 is what we're seeing is there are positive cases that are asymptomatic.
That's true.
So people are walking around and they don't have the symptoms, but they're positive. And maybe in that particular person, they're not going to exhibit the symptoms, but they could spread it to someone who it could be deadly for.
Yeah, good points, Judy. How do people connect with Judy Gaman, Gaman?
Yeah, sure. You can go to emtexas.com. That's for Executive Medicine of Texas, emtexas.com. We're always out there to keep people healthy.
Thank you, Judy. Always a pleasure. Thanks for being on.
Pleasure's mine.